When I was 7 years old, I learned that mountains are not made of stone alone. I was the kind of child who could not live without answers. Every question I had, I asked my grandma. In our neighborhood, my grandma was something else entirely. A natural healer, a tarot cards reader, a cleanser of heavy energies. When doctors couldn't diagnose an illness, people knocked on her door. When someone wanted to know if their marriage would survive, if their trip would be safe, if their business would collapse, they came to her. She carried authority without ever raising her voice. One afternoon, I stood on top of a tall building, staring at the horizon. Mountains surrounded everything, massive, silent, ancient. They didn't look empty. They looked like they were hiding something. When I got home, I found her in the kitchen, grinding herbs. "Grandma, what's inside the mountains?" She didn't answer immediately. She turned slowly, studying my face. "What do you think is inside them? Rocks? Stone? Maybe caves?" She smiled, but it wasn't a playful smile. "That's the logical answer. But inside those mountains, there are souls." The word hit me harder than I expected. Souls? Souls of people who committed terrible sins. People who hurt others. People who never repented. People who never paid in life. That's why they say everything is paid for, in this life or the next. I looked out the window toward the distant peaks, suddenly feeling like they were watching me back. There must be millions of them. She leaned closer, lowering her voice. "Since the first living beings walked this earth until today, imagine how many die every single day. For every strand of hair on your head, there is a possessed soul." My hand instantly went to my hair. "That's terrifying." "You're safe," she whispered. "You're with your granny." But my mind kept racing. "If they're prisoners, who guards them?" She laughed softly. "That's my grandson, smart and handsome. They are guarded by a deity called Apu. Powerful mountain spirits, territorial guardians. They control the weather, the fertility of the land, the balance of life, and they make sure no soul escapes." "What do they look like?" "They can take any form they choose, but they usually appear as imposing masculine figures, tall, strong, not entirely human." I imagined something standing on a mountain peak, watching everything. In prisons, inmates get time outside. Do these souls ever leave? Her expression changed. The room felt a little cold. It is believed they can roam between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., sometimes until 5. That's why those hours feel different, heavier. A chill crawled up my spine. What if one refused to go back? Her eyes looked onto me. "The Apu punishes it, and if a soul dares to touch the living, it is erased completely. That's why they rarely show themselves. Sometimes they move objects, sometimes sensitive people like you and me can feel them. The body always reacts to negative energy." The house felt too quiet. After a long pause, she placed her hand on my head. "Always pray, always have faith in God, and remember something important. The living are far more frightening than the dead. God and your grandma will always protect you." Years have passed, but every time I look at the mountain now, I don't just see stone. I see sentences being served. I see ancient gardens standing watch. And sometimes when the clock reads 1 or 4 a.m. and the world feels unnaturally still, I feel something breathing beyond the walls.